Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. How's it going? Okay, so yeah, just got up here, and yeah, I haven't done a video like this for a little bit, just a little bit, but uh, this is the craziest, nuttiest dream. It's up there. You guys, tell me what you think. So, as these things go, as dreams go, it's just not always very clear, um, where you're really at in a dream. You have any building that you're in can turn into anything else, any other kind of building, just like that. I can't even snap right now. It's too early in the morning. Just like that. Just like that. You could go from school to church to work to store to your house to whatever. um, yeah. So I think I was at church, my church, LDS church. And I think that was a fair bit of the dream before the ending part of it, which I can always remember the best, was involving some kind of church stuff. And there were a lot of things that's going on to make that whole church meetings lengthier than usual, longer than usual. So I think I was getting really hungry or something. I'm not sure what, but I remember um, somehow I got a hold of, I can't remember how I got a hold of this, but somehow I got some really high quality beef. And I think it was originally in a bag. Well, let me back up here. I actually remember, I think about it. I was in, I was at church. It's not getting to the meat thing quite yet. So I think I went back home or something like that. And then I went back to church. Well, I remember, sorry, let me back up. I think I remember being home, at home, before before going to church. So I was at home for a bit, and it was not my present place in that. It was kind of resembling an earlier place, but not 100%, of course, where I shared a house with a whole bunch of other guys. And so, um, yeah, but it was resembling that, but it was different. It was kind of like one of those things where I thought nobody else was home really, or wasn't aware of that, but there were like one or two other guys that were home. Just that they just kept to themselves so much that I never knew they were home. These two other guys, and they were friendly enough, um, but because for some reason there were a ton of beds in the house, a ton of beds, but like a lot of beds in a lot of rooms. But because so many beds were being unused, right? And there were some guys that were just sometimes not there, but sometimes were there. There was kind of this, oh, I'll just sleep in this room, this bed. It's no big deal. And you just wake up and you get your stuff, and or you just nobody really knows who lives where. It's because there's so many beds that so okay. So I was talking with this guy, and he was being really cool, and I didn't really know him that well. I knew the other guys that were rooming there better. I don't know. Weirdest thing in the world, almost like a dorm but different. Weird. So then I go to church. And I think I'm not sure if it's. The thing is, though, is it actually. I'm thinking of it. It was at church, but it wasn't like an actual main sacrament meeting. It wasn't like a church meeting. It was something having to do with some kind of something organ related or music related, and something having to do with um, watching little kids in a nursery or something having to do with a bunch of toys and letters and stuff. So I was around the toys. And then after that, I think I brought some meat with me for some reason. Right? I got a hold of some meat that needed to cook. It's like, I need to cook this. I'm getting hungry or something. It had been a little bit of time. So trying to, it's like, oh man. And, it was impossible to get out of there. It seemed like wherever I went in the church, there's too many people. There's crowds of people everywhere in the hallways. So I couldn't get out. So we were like, oh, maybe I'll just cook this meat really quick here, and then I'll just eat it because I was starving. And I finally found a room that actually wasn't technically part of the church, but it was in the same building as the church. But this room was somehow a city government type of thing. I knew it was, I sensed it was. But I'm not sure why the devil it was. They had a room inside my church. That would never happen. But they did. And of all people, I think Heath Ledger, Heath Ledger, yes, Heath Ledger, the dead actor, was worked for the city government, and whatever whatever department they were having a room, had a room or a space of some sort in my church. And this was like a second floor type of thing. The church buildings that I belong to, the church buildings, the LDS church buildings that have a second floor are not all that common, but there are some that do have that second floor, and they're an older style church building. They're not the newer ones; they're the older style, and it's like there's like one of them, like one room, that's up on the second floor, and that's I think what this room was. And um, so I went in there, and I'm like, oh man, starving. Can I make? Usually, we just have a kitchen. You have like a kitchen in we always have kitchens in our buildings. I was just for some reason I couldn't find the kitchen, so but there's some burners and stuff and a fridge in there. Fully functioning office slash eating area or something. It's like, can I just make my meat here? He's like, and I'll share some meat with you if I can do that. And he's like, sure, okay. Oh, you're bribing a government worker, a government office. I'm like, yes, I am. So that was about when I woke up, of course. Nuttiest dream in the world. I kid you not. It was just all over the map. So anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.